Listen, we're here and it's gonna happen. This is GenV Chat right here with me, Dr Musa, as I'll be talking to some young people about COVID, about the vaccine, whether or not they're ready to get their jab. Let's get into it. That guy there is Lesego. This lady here is Angel, and we're talking about getting vaccinated. Miss V, you know that lady, right?
Yeah, Miss V, she's someone I can go to when I really need answers on things like the vaccines and stuff, like anything related to COVID-19 actually.
What's her main message? What does she tell you?
Well, her main message honestly is just like, you mustn't be scared to ask about things related to COVID-19 or the vaccine. You should feel comfortable asking those things. It's always good to know what needs to happen and how to fix it.
I hear you. Angel?
I think for me personally, Ms. V is kind of like my twin sister. I think I kind of look like Ms. V, the little baggy vibes and everything. I think I kind of look like Ms. V. But I think she's like your little older sister, someone who takes the seriousness away from these kind of situations, COVID, vaccines, they're big things that mostly scares people sometimes, when it comes to having the conversation. So she just softens it up, allows you to actually speak about it in a comfortable space and, allows you just to be free and able to conversate with her.
All right, look, you should know Ms. V by now. If you don't, we want you as Gen Vers to go out there and get vaccinated. Yes, that's you young people looking at this COVID situation. You're sitting there saying, when's my turn? What does being young or being part of the youth mean to you?
Being part of the youth is gives you the type of mentality of being carefree and, not having a care. But I think that ends once you grow up and get more responsibility. So I think it's time for us to enjoy being in the youth. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. Yeah. But what does it mean to you?
I think for me, being young and, being a part of the youth, it's just making those mistakes and decisions that you're gonna lecture your children about, having stories to be I was young once, what your parents always say to you when I was your age. I think that's mostly just what the youth is about, having fun and not caring and just living up your youth until to the best of your ability, man. Yeah.
There are times where you actually need information. You actually have to get some information about what's going on, vaccines, what is COVID, how can it be spread, what's important. Does it spread from me spitting in someone's face, or can I just breathe in the same room as them? Things like that. And I think, different platforms came about. BWise is around, gets information, coronavirus.co.za, the government things also.
Yeah, those people are very consistent with those messages. I go on every single morning from the government,
So let's talk about myths now. And for the sake of being dramatic, I'm gonna have a prize up for grabs, okay?
Okay.
So, there's
I think I'm ready for
first
this.
one to get their hand up. Gets to answer. It's a myth. It's either true or it's false.
Okay.
And then we get what can I give away? What should I give away? Money,
a
houses,
car.
cars.
I need a car.
Imagine allowing Gen V to touch my car.
Yes, why not?
Let's do it. You'll get something. Don't worry. I'll make it happen. Remember, just think it and then we see. It's a true or false. It's very simple.
Okay.
Right. First question. The development of vaccines is too fast for them to be safe. There we go, Angel.
That answer is false.
False. Tell us why.
Because I think that the development of a vaccine doesn't matter on how quickly it takes for you to get it, but I feel like the moment you have it down, then you should have it down. It has nothing to do with the amount of time that it takes, especially because we live in a generation where technology is at its best right now. So I think we should use that.
My queen.
I am in this bag. 1-0, my boy.
So 1 to Angel. There we go, scorekeeper. Thank you so much. All right, second one. Wearing a mask does not prevent getting COVID. Let's go, Lesego.
I think it does, because you're closing up your.
My man, answer the question, my man. Answer the true or false. My man, true or false, my man.
What's the question actually?
Okay, Angel, it falls over to you.
It's your time. Wearing a mask does prevent, so it's true.
She's correct. Come on, everybody. Yeah, boy. Yeah. COVID side effects are dangerous. Angel.
Okay, let's do it again. 3. I say false. Symptoms are not dangerous, but sometimes obviously kind of sucks having symptoms, but it's kind of something that you have to go through, but it isn't unbearable. It is not unbearable.
Common sense, ladies and gentlemen, come on.
Another one in the bag.
The self was getting angrier. So, about that. So there is a truth, there is a false component to it, right? Because our bodies react to different things in different ways. So you and I may get the same vaccine, but we'll react differently depending on what side effect we get at that point in time. Some people's side effects may be fatal, not necessarily with the COVID vaccine, I just mean in general for side effects.
Yeah, we will.
And I may just get a sore throat and that's the end of it. All right, so that's the end of our Mythbuster quiz. We've answered 3 of those, and I hope that information went out to you.
No, definitely
and you're able
did,
to
yeah.
sort of put your mind to the same thing. Whenever someone comes with a COVID myth or says something to you on WhatsApp or sends you a video, you go, whoa. Let me get some information. And where can you get that information? On DWise, on SA Coronavirus, as well as other reputable information sites so that you're making the right decision.
So, as a doctor, I wanted to know, as a doctor, what is the most difficult situation you've been through? And also the funniest situation you've been through, but you couldn't laugh?
So, look, COVID is a scary thing because just yesterday I was on call at the hospital and I went to the respiratory section of the hospital. This is literally where patients that are coming to the hospital, so they came from home, they're coming to the hospital because they're having problems breathing, they're coughing, and all those sort of things. And because it's third wave, you automatically start thinking it's COVID, right? That hospital was packed. I don't mean 3-4 people chilling, waiting. Packed, which brings about the sad reality of where we are with regards to COVID right now. The third wave is serious.
Yeah.
The third wave, people have got COVID fatigue and they think that we're lying when we say hospitals are full. No, these people just want to ban alcohol again and things such as that.
No, it makes sense.
And they forget the reality of things is that if you walk through the corridors of the hospital and you see people sitting there, probably even waiting to use the oxygen because it's so difficult to breathe, your mind does change about these sort of things. The reality of a third wave actually means a lot more than people that read about it or see a statistic that says 10,000 people are positive today when they're like, yeah, but there's 60 million of us. That's the reality. Funniest bits, I make joy in my heart about everything just so that this COVID situation doesn't get to our heads. The fatigue is there, but also the weighing down in your mental health. Like you're saying, you need to manage your social inputs so that you can have a good peace of mind and have good mental health balances. And that's important. So instead of sitting consuming COVID type things every day, it's expand your mind, go read up on things that make you think differently, make you think outside of COVID, plan for the future and things such as that. And I think with platforms such as BeWise and them introducing so many other new things on a daily basis, it's important because it covers the whole spectrum of things. So of course it's COVID, we can read up on that now, but you get things such as STI, you get things such as mental health and all the things that are being added on because we aren't people that are just COVID people. No. We live full lives where you've got other things. Your parents don't have money to send you to university next year, for instance. What are you going to do? That's of course a stressor in your life. So now you have to worry about COVID, about fees, about what you're going to eat tonight, and the realities are different for everyone. So it's important to know that there are sources that you can use to get the information and the help that you can.
Yeah, let's say I had COVID. I would like to know how would I help myself get better and how would I prevent myself from passing it on to the people around me?
Yeah, so it goes and boils down to the basic principles that we learned early in lockdown. It's isolation. So this is really difficult in situations where you live with other people and you've got nowhere else to go. Yeah. A lot of people in South Africa don't have the means to go stay at a hotel or go stay in a special place.
That's a whole
somewhere.
conversation,
so you have to make do with what you have. So in many instances, people have found themselves isolating in their rooms. The room that you share with your 2 siblings, where your siblings are gonna have to go sleep in the lounge now because you don't want to give them anything. And that's where your family needs to be helping you out. It's you managing your own health, but also being aware that help should always be ready. That as you sit in that room and you're finding a little bit difficult to breathe, that you've got people checking in on you, that you're able to say that, should I have an issue breathing, I'm gonna call an ambulance and I'm gonna go to hospital so that I'm not sitting at home dying by myself. So it's important to know that, of course you must isolate, of course you must clean surfaces, of course you must make sure that if you're using a tissue or using things like that, you're able to discard them, that you're wearing a mask, that you're cleaning and washing your hands and things such as that, but also that if you need to go to hospital, go to hospital.
Yeah.
Don't be brave there at your house.
Let's go to the hospital. You see, Angel.
You have been on my case today. You have been on my case.
If you guys had family members that need, let me not even say family members, what are you guys doing as people that are aware of GenV and what that means? That you live in communities where the next door neighbor might be an old lady without a cell phone to register when the SMS that says, when she needs to get her vaccine. That the people down the road might not have a phone at all. Is there anything that you guys can do to assist those that aren't able to access the vaccines right now whilst you can't as yet as well?
I think I really like that question because it really gets you thinking. It takes you away from the fact that there is no I in team. Like, I cannot be the only person who's like, hey, I'm not gonna get COVID. Meanwhile, my whole road is suffering. So I just think, it's registering for people who don't know how to register. I think a lot of people don't know this, but there's a lot of people who don't know how to use the new technology. So I think us as a generation who is familiar with it, just help out where we can, but make sure we maintain like our social distancing, wear our masks, register for those that can't, our family, our grandparents, and mothers as well. I think that would be a very good idea.
What options are you going to exercise to try assist those around you since you can't get your vaccine as yet?
To help out, definitely make sure the people in my family, such as my aunts, my uncles, and my grandparents who aren't familiar with technology these days, I would make sure that they, registered for the vaccine and they're next in line to get vaccinated, so they don't have to endure anything like COVID, like going through stuff like that to get sick, And I'd also make sure as myself that I don't go out as much, so I don't bring back the virus one day, because who knows, I could be going to play some soccer in the morning with my friends and my friend could be sick and I come back and bring the virus back home and make my family sick, so I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, but also, I guess, in the spirit of take a bullet for the man next door.
Definitely.
So we're all in lockdown together. When they say restrictions, it's restrictions. Let's do it together and assist each other where we can.
I think, definitely we need to work together as a community, as a country, help each other out, because there definitely is no I in team. And there isn't an I in South Africa.
Yeah, actually, you're right. It's like, are you sure there's no I in South Africa? South Africa.
Why are you spelling it out? There is no I in South Africa.
There's an I in South Africa.
Like, there isn't one. Where do you see the I in South Africa?
Why would you guys think there is no I?
Man, there's an I in South Africa.
Why would you think there's no I in South Africa?
No I in South Africa.
Let's wrap it up by saying this. Are we getting vaccinated individually?
Definitely. When it's my time to get vaccinated, I'm getting vaccinated.
So it's a yay for the vaccination for you. Angel?
I think definitely after this conversation, I would definitely be getting the vaccine. It's an eye-opener, especially after covering all of the myths and stuff. It really actually, has got me into getting the vaccine.
Listen, that's how we wrap this conversation up today. Remember that there is no I in South Africa. And from us here today, love and leave.